I just realized I need a new intro for SportsZone, don't I? I'll make one up. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 3 of SportsZone. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. It's Saturday night in England. It's in the UK, or I'll just say England because that's exactly where I'm at. I'm in London. It's 2:05 in the morning. And I think the thrill or excitement of the North London derby is something I can't rest. And I needed to because I haven't done a video in a while. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There's just been a lot of life been living in between my last few live streams, but I will be back. Don't worry, with another Spurs career mode, some more games, and definitely some more chatty type stuff. If you guys like the last night school, I'll be doing longer episodes, and obviously I've written out scripts now, so it's going to be a bit more coherent, hopefully for you guys listening out there. But if you are watching right now, I just want to say hi there. It's been an amazing weekend of weather, nicely sunny, and then at times a little bit haily, but you know. Man's used to be from Tottenham Hill, so it's cool with all that. Speaking of Tottenham, it's Arsenal versus Tottenham this weekend. And yes, as I mentioned in the description, there's a lot at stake for this. Spurs need to keep momentum because top four is kind of a realistic possibility as long as we do not get any injuries. I mean, that's all we can hope not to have in this little run-up. But I feel like a lot of players on the fringes are still kind of getting to jump in and out. Vinicius needs minutes, though. He's sorry about that. It's my phone. I should put that on silent. Vinicius needs more minutes, though. This is terrible. Against Dinamo Zagreb, I wouldn't say whooped. We beat them 2-0. It was a Harry Kane masterclass, if you want to go crazy with the plaudits. But Harry Kane scored both goals. But there was sourcing from quite a lot of players. I did notice Dele Alli a little bit off the pace, so I don't know what that means if he's going to be able to come off the bench for the North London derby. But you can imagine the front four is taking care of itself. Front four currently occupied on the left-hand side by, obviously, the one and only Huminson. Harry Kane spearheading the attack, and on the right-hand side, a rejuvenated Gareth Bale. It's amazing. But who plays in that 10? Who plays in that little hole? Well, Gio Lo Celso is not quite fit. And Tanguy Ndombele, I believe his partnership with Højbjerg is crucial. The way they just close down, they're amazing. They're like a car crusher. They just close down the entire midfield and make it very, very tight. And mistakes are made. And Højbjerg is rugged. He's like, he's like a pit bull. He's like a staff, really. Like you can see his tail wagging, and he's just happy to run around the turf, literally grabbing every second ball or kind of bullying mans into a mistake. The occasional foul definitely has been witnessed, but overall, I think he's an upgrade on Xhaka if that's going to be his opposite number in the Arsenal midfield. I think definitely that Ndombele is one of the best ball winners, obviously, because the way he can kind of win a ball and then on the half turn just zing a great pass forward. He's always forward thinking, happy to take players on, man, and he's just got a great lower center of gravity that makes him almost impossible to get the ball off of. So got our own little very own N'Golo Kante in the making. That's right, I said it. Tanguy Ndombele, if he decides that he wants to go into like a more deeper role and become more of like a destroyer, so to speak, I don't know what that will speak for in his career, because obviously being a person who's tackling a lot and getting about the pitch, his stamina's a lot better now, but I'm just saying for the longevity of his career, I do like to see him go forward or have more time on the ball. And that's why I think Europa League and certain games will suit him. But tomorrow we're going to see some of those finer qualities refined into, just very pinpoint sharpness of grabbing that ball, looking for Bell, looking for Mora, looking for, by the way, I've just given up the goat. Mora's playing in the 10. Looking for Mora, looking for Son or Kane. And you can tell that front four are not going to be without the ball. And I like the fact that, as I've just mentioned, with Ndombele being in the centre midfield alongside Højbjerg, then you've got Lucas Moura, who is actually, he's run back a lot. Like I thought he was just going to kind of stay up there, halfway line, so to speak, and try and feed balls for counterattacks. But like he's actually getting in there in the midfield, man. His performances have been quite good of late, and I definitely say he's bought himself a starting berth inside the team, and he definitely should start against Arsenal. That's without a doubt. Obviously, the front four, then I've spoken for, and I've spoken for the midfield as well. So that leads us to the back line. Do you know what I mean? And what a back line it is. It's not exactly the easiest of backlines on people's eyes. But obviously, I mentioned, the great depth in our squad that we can pull from. I can't actually speak for the backline, so to speak. I mean, it's troublesome at best. You've got maybe an argument that Sanchez should start because he's been doing exceptionally well. I mean, he's been playing really, really, really well. So you can't take that away from the kid. He's been putting in great performances after great performances. So he deserves his start against Arsenal, wouldn't you say? It'll be hard to take him out, or unless Mourinho can somehow finesse him and convince him that he's better off served in the Europa League, because we need to win and qualify, and maybe put in a Joe Rodon. But then that's maybe 65 to 75 minutes of really good display, and then you can negate the difference left in normal time for a mistake or two, is what I would say we get with Rodon. He's still very much a work in progress. Moving along nicely. It's just, it's not quite there yet, which leads me to the great fear that we might have like an Eric Dyer. See if I can bring up a picture here. No, I can't. Let's see if I can do this instead. So I'm going to try and bring up an image of Eric Dyer, because you guys like pictures, visual. But yeah, Eric Dyer, if he does end up playing, the North London derby with basically not having that much football as of late, that'll be kind of strange. That'll be very, very, very strange, to be perfectly honest. I actually thought I downloaded a Dyer picture. Legally, don't worry. Unless pictures are illegal now. Never mind. Maybe my computer's basically telling me something. It's like, there he is. There he is. No, still not coming up. This is boring. I hear you, ladies and gentlemen. This is boring. I'm trying to grab a Dyer picture, but I still can't. Is he that bad that my computer refuses to? Well, he hasn't been good. That was my point. He hasn't been. Let's get back. He hasn't been that good. I had a few shaky moments, and when confronted about it in I think it was either a press conference or just a newspaper interview, Mourinho had already said something about, he was trying to play through a rough patch or something to those effect. And Dyer outright refused, whereas Matt Doherty, I believe that's how you say it, Matt Doherty, he acknowledged that he hasn't been at his best, essentially. Not even talking about the change of position, because he mostly played as a wing back, but he went forward a lot. And so in that system in Wolves, that was fine, but he didn't do a lot of defending, which is probably why Wolves had three at the back. But they then had a dimension, so that when him and Johnny, I think Johnny was the opposing wing back, when they got forward, they were just a problem for most teams. They basically created a four in midfield and beyond, with Neves and João Moutinho just pressing the attack forward and feeding balls into a man like Jimenez, and it was a Mazzoline, man like Jota as well, who's now currently playing his football at Liverpool. Liverpool, what happened to you, man? We'll talk about you in a little bit later. But yeah, still going to keep with the derby. Who do we pick? I believe it's possible for man like Sanchez. Yeah, let's cut myself out there. Let me pattern this up. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's got to be easier than this. Is that how I do it? Yes. So man like Sanchez, look at him. This was him in his heyday of just magic and wizardry. Having that man like Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez, don't get it twisted. I don't care what his passport says. The man is an absolute striking baller. He's got every finish in the book: left, right, header, bicycles. But it's his hunger to get in that box, mate. Whenever you can call him whatever you want as a striker, but I'll put him in my starting 11 and hands down, because the man knows how to score goals, and I think Barcelona did him dirty, definitely. But yeah, I just digressed there whilst trying to even big up Sanchez. But obviously, even that one move isn't going to take away from Luis Suarez. I just want you to know that at one point, Sanchez was playing Juventus, he was playing Real Madrid, he was playing, he was used to European football. He was used to coming up against superior opposition, so to speak, on paper. The Premier League is much harder, and I think that shows because, what Gundogan did to him, mate. I mean, maybe he slipped, but still embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. He fell flat on his face, just in case you guys don't watch football. And Sanchez is an amazing young prospect, or talent, sorry, when we got him. And now he's moved on to he's kind of been like the linchpin of blame for defensive deficiencies as of, well, not even of late, in the past. And the truth is that Davinson Sanchez has had some good seasons at Spurs. He's had some great performances. Obviously, we all know it's the full 90-minute, concentration span thing that we all have got an issue, or sorry, we've all got like a worry about. Because obviously Sanchez could be playing great all the way up into a certain point and then completely implode. We have got evidence of that in the West Ham game. I mean, that was just capitulation. So knowing that going into this, knowing that also Dyer has got those moments in his game as well, knowing that Rodon will actually do a really good job. I reckon he'll do a really good job in a free, because then that kind of gives him a little bit more freedom positionally, understanding of the system and protection wise. But in a 2, I reckon we're kind of, because we're out of the FA Cup, I believe. Are we out of the FA Cup? Yeah. We got dumped out by Everton 5-4. Chances like that to play lower league opposition, so to speak, or the Europa League games, which unfortunately he didn't get to be enrolled in, but maybe just playing, I don't know, training with the first team one season to integrate, might actually give him an opportunity to be a more competent baller, because it's different gravy out there in the Premier League. I know you've come from the Championship, but it's different gravy. Individual brilliance will only get you so far. A strong team system, not just tactics, but also technical ability under pressure. I mean, those things are going to come into the fore, and it's not every single attribute that you would probably find for a newly promoted team. But in saying that, then you have your outliers like your Leeds, who are just like, we're going to score more than you, which is a great concept to have. And then you have other teams like, unfortunately, like your West Broms, who start with one style of play or one philosophy at the beginning of the season. It's maybe good for your first 2 or 3 results. Then it doesn't work against the rest of the Premier League and you get found out. Before you know it, by Christmas time, you're talking about relegation and you're looking at a new manager. So it's tough. And I don't know how I digressed onto this, by the way. I'll get back onto Spurs. But yeah, systems are important. And yeah, that's it. Defensive deficiencies. That's how I got onto that. Sanchez has been the blame of all of that. And regardless of how good you are as a player, if you're trying to make up for, or you become the sole kind of factor, is it de facto? Maybe the sole factor that decides a win or loss on a match, if you have a good game or not. Forget the person next to you who's supposed to defend that side. Forget the goalkeeper behind you who's supposed to really parry that shot or hold it. Forget the fullback that is, not marking his man, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's just all on one person for the reason why the team have leaked goals. And I think that's kind of unfair, definitely, for Davinson Sanchez. I'll put that out there. What I will say is, though, because obviously Eric Dyer is not a bad football player, okay? He's not a bad football player, but he is going up against what I would consider, in Arteta now, a defensive kind of coach. He's made them very difficult to beat. And I think, tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think that Mikel Arteta's Arsenal is kind of like not like an Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer version of Man United in terms of he's trying to bring back the ethos of what it is to be an Arsenal player. Because only I think, unfortunately, that's lost without Arsene Wenger. That joie de vivre, that freaking va-va-voom, that this chili is bigger than this one. Listen, all of this that was born from just flair, power, pace, Arsenal, like all the way into your box, 16, 25, 45 pass moves and just making it look easy and making average players look great. Like, honestly, their system just, honestly, not betrayed. Their system, the players in it were gas. Let's just say that. Without that system of Arsenal, the players in that system, a lot of them were great. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of ballers that you take them out of Arsenal and you put them in another team. Why are they not succeeding? You know, it's no surprise because it was an institution for a minute. I don't know what happened when they left Highbury, but I know when I was at Highbury, I fucking hated anything to do with Arsenal. I don't feel anything like that now. They still are rivals, and this derby I'm looking forward to. It's a great spectacle, but it doesn't. When Man City in the Champions League, yeah, or in a cup final like we've got in April, that's a little bit different. As of late, as a Spurs fan, I've been noticing these Man City just balling out of control, yeah. Champagne everywhere, like Ferraris and all this kind of crap because they've got oil money, they got Arab money, they got money. I don't know where it's come from, but it's it's there. And so these men are basically taking football by the gazunkas. And Arsenal can't compete anymore. Not even Man United can compete. You get me? Chelsea, every once in a while, might have a good little, enough of an injection to reach the levels of getting close and hope that like a Man City slips like they do every other season. But, mate, the fact that Liverpool have fallen away so hard and you've just got this Man City hair, I'm sorry, but shoe on the other foot. Imagine when Arsene Wenger was leaving, the right investment, or if it wasn't Kroenke's, and let's say if it was like, Sheikh Mansour's type stuff, and it has a system like Man City's, you know what I mean, where they look at the structure of the club and the training facilities. Arsenal been done dirty as well, I got to admit. So I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. It's no longer like the same type of rivalry or hatred that I had for them when they were at Highbury. It's a hybrid type of football right now. And Arteta is doing his best. But how good is your best? Is your best like you're still willing to play wash players in the hope that they somehow play out of bad form? Is it your hope to only indulge on some players that after maybe 20 games have still shown you not enough? It will be like you're worried to change the dynamic in their dressing room because some of the personnel that you might upset have more influence than you do, even though you played for this squad. You possibly won more trophies, or you won trophies, definitely. Like, you've got something to show these people. And obviously your system is not terrible. I believe it's defensively sound. If a little bit at times naive, but it's defensively sound. But I think you try to set your teams up to be like, hard to beat, which is fine. It's just you can release the shackles a tiny bit more. I reckon Martinelli needs more starts. It's ridiculous. I don't know if he's injured or not, but I'd like to see him impact games a lot more. The longer Pepe is on the ball, the better Pepe is. But unfortunately, you can't have a luxury of having a player just eat up possession times and probably get nabbed. But I do honestly think he does need a lot more minutes in order to show you more in the time that you're probably allowing him to play. So, I don't know what it is, man. It looks like the team are on the cusp of great creativity and attack, which is what Lacazette and our Aubameyang need. And speaking about the man called Aubame, because he's looking to try and move to our team tomorrow. I know he is. I don't trust him at all. Man's moving mad. He is, I got a picture of him here, but that looks bug. It's a book-looking picture. You people know what he looks like. I don't have to show you a full-blown picture, do I? But yeah, man like Aubameyang, he's moving a little bit. Well, I mean, he scored a few more in the last few games, but would we say his form is comparable to Kane or Son's? Well, not Son's. We're going to get to Son in a second, actually. Would we say that Aubameyang's form is comparable to Bale or Kane? Hell no. I know who I'm putting in a shootout with a blindfold. I reckon Human Son needs to score. I mean, I love Son for the simple fact that even when he's not scoring, he's still that heartbeat on that left hand side. Even if he's having a bad game as well, he'll still run the ball. He'll run the ball. He'll run the channels. He'll run the freaking. He'll tear up that flank until you see nothing but mud or fire. Yeah, Star Treks, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, my man is zipping up and down. He's even getting back far enough to defend for the team. How many games can he do this for? Because obviously Mourinho's got his stars, and unless someone says he's injured, he's going to play. But bro, you're putting in cross country marathon. Like we're talking like maybe I don't know how many kilometers does Human Son run on an average freaking day of football? Now that is a question. I'm anxious to find that out because the boy run, man. See, average. Nope, that says average shots on target. You want average kilometers per match, isn't it? Is it match? Statistics, goals, passes, shots. No, I don't want that. Or do I have to ask? I think I have to ask specifically. Okay, I'm going to ask Google. Because I really want to know this shit, honestly. I know, like, I could go deep into, like, freaking your BTs, BBCs, or your Sky Sports and look at the last game report. And, yeah, I could do that, but I don't want to. It's cooler to ask the phone. Okay, Google. Hey, Google. Okay, average kilometers Human Son runs in a football match. Okay, that doesn't make sense. It actually thought I said Human Son in a complaint. Average kilometers per match by Human Son. Yeah, this isn't working, and this is embarrassing. Human Son, average kilometers per match. Am I saying Human Son because it hardest working players, average distance covered? Oh no, see, this isn't the type of articles I was looking for. We were getting close, and now I'm getting articles from. See, it thought I said Human Son. I said Huming. I am not a Scouse. Son Hyung Min. Average kilometers. Okay, there we go. And the answer, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I'm actually on the Premier League's page now. This is how long this has taken, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive me. Just curiosity is eating away at me. And I needed to see how fast this dude runs. Run, Barry, run. Okay. Discipline, defense, interceptions, clearance, block shots, crosses, big chances created, hit the woodwork, free kicks, goals, attack, appearances, wins, losses, filter. So it doesn't even say on the stats. There we go. Okay, stats, goals, appearances, attack, headed goals. This is just the same as before. This hasn't changed. This is terrible. That's the Premier League That's the Premier League website. I've typed it on Google and they still can't show me it. Song Heung-min average kilometers ran, covered. What else do you want? Oh my god. I can't even. This is terrible. Could somebody help, man, with Google? Like, I mean, oh, here we go. Okay, so this was from the 9th of December. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. And this is from the Burnley game. Registered maximum speed of 34.4 kilometers. Okay, that's different. Son Heung-min won the goal, followed by a 73-meter solo run. That was in 9th of December 2019. So it looks like every year they take a look at this. Okay, so talking about his goal against Burnley when it was the solo, equivalent to running 100 meters in 10 seconds. Accelerated his dribble. Okay, look, the dude's fast. I just said he's average, though. Man does a lot of running. I'm done at it. That took way too long, innit? We all agree. It's time that we'll never get back on this SportsZone. How dare we? So we're going to have to move now. Let's go with a prediction. Well, predicted lineup, I think I've already said it, but in terms of defense, I'll quickly finish that off. Look how long we took to get there. Reguilon on the left, Toby Alderweireld, Davison Sanchez, and Serge Aurier. But if he played the last game, I believe he did. He played the last game against Dinamo Zagreb. So maybe they want a more competent. I hope he can play 2 games in a row. I'll put Aurier in there regardless. And yeah, that's the team. On the bench, Stevie Bergwijn, Harry Winks, Vinicius, Dele Alli, Joe Hart, Musa Sissoko, and Eric Dyer. Not bad. Yo, wait, and Ben Davis, because you can name 7 subs. I didn't know that. Well, can you name 7 subs now? Is it 5? I don't know. They're moving mad. Moving mad in the Premier League as always. Do you like the new layout, ladies and gentlemen? I just thought I would. I know you're seeing Tom May, whose name bounced at the bottom. If you want to see a different name, why don't you just subscribe to the channel and your name will appear right there? It's a nice little overlay that I got courtesy of Owned, which is a 3D package. They're not paying me anything, so maybe I should shut up. But I might just do a little video of how I'm kind of upgrading the show and the channel bit by bit. But nice stuff. So on to a prediction, shall we? Last game we won 2-0. This one's going to be slightly surprising, but I'm going to go for a 3-1. I reckon we're going to go a goal up, maybe 2. Arsenal are going to score a goal, and then we're going to score a goal, and then it's just, again, us defending for our bloody lives. We'll throw in Sissoko towards the end. We'll throw in Bergwijn for Gareth Bale. We'll take off Harry Kane for Vinicius, possibly. Dele Alli might see some time. Gio Lo Celso is too soon to come back, but I reckon he's a game or 2 out. He's almost there. Almost. And I'm hoping it's Jarrell settings. Jarrell in Ashanti. He's always on time. I hope he's come off the bench and he just does a madness. But that's just a dream. The reality is right now that we do have a Dele Alli that is he was alarmingly off the, not off the pace, but like I think it's just match rhythm. I think it's just honestly match rhythm. If he played a full 90, that might not be good for the fact that he's just coming back from a tendon injury, or so to speak, some kind of muscular injury that has been plaguing him, or for whatever reason. He didn't get the move to Paris Saint-Germain, which apparently had more weight in it than I thought. I didn't actually think there was much weight to that story at all. But it seems like he was definitely looking to try and anchor a move. He didn't want to just stay on the bench. And it seemed like there were times that he could have played, but he just didn't. Or maybe, he wasn't even on the bench. I think that was the most telling thing. Perhaps Mourinho said, you can come and train, but if you train like the way you've been training, I'm never going to pick you. So go home and think about what you're doing and maybe come back. Come back and think, what do you want? Huh? Do you want to do up playing Fortnite every single night, or do you want to get your England career back on track? So I think Dele Alli went away, thought about it long and hard, and then he just came back, started to probably try and train better, but aggravated or re-aggravated an existing or created a new injury. Kept him out for a little bit, and then he was almost resurged. And we're back. Kept back, and he was almost resurged. He was playing with a little bit of gusto against Marina. Him and Jedson Fernandez, who we unfortunately, the loan deal got cut short with Benfica. And then he got loaned out to another team. Is it Lazio? I'm not going to look it up now, but Jedson Fernandez basically, him and Dele Alli bossed that game. And is he at Fenerbahce? Fenerbahce? Galatasaray. Okay. He's at Galatasaray. Yeah, so he Dele Alli started picking up nice little bits of minutes in the cup games and Europa Leagues respectively. And I think one game, it was the Fulham game. Yes, he was the one that provided kind of the assist. Unfortunately, he hasn't taken that momentum into the last game, so I don't see him starting. He's going to be coming off the bench, hopefully. But if we've got a stranglehold on the game, or if it looks like we're going to have to sacrifice flair, creativity, pace just for a brick shit house in like someone like Sissoko to just stop man from getting in places, then yeah, maybe that might be what we have to do, especially if it seems like the defense is having a bad day. And again, I'm saying Sanchez and Alderweireld, I reckon, are our best two. I don't want to go with any other experiments. And give Rodon some more minutes, man. Maybe, and I know it's probably not good for his brain, but just give Alderweireld a little break. We're getting into 80 minutes, yeah, or Sanchez even, just so that he doesn't have that mistake. Yeah, Sanchez is always making a mistake around the 80th minute. How about you sub him out and throw in Rodon? Just have a fresh, professional set of, defending skills. But then again, you do leave that person who's on a bench who's been warming up, kind of, he's jumping in there like, like a Rottweiler. He's like, yeah, let me at him. And maybe he might do a madness. So you don't want to see it. But I definitely don't want to see Harry Winks getting thrown on and then put in compromising positions, because he's not a commanding, combative center defensive midfielder. He's a deep lying playmaker. So the difference of that is he can sit in the pocket, but he can't be fucked with. He needs to just have enough time to ping balls. He's got great distribution, I kid you not. But he can't it's the whole physical part of it. He's still a ute. He's 25 years old, I think. But he's kind of small and built like a ute. So certain man then will just move to him and that's it. It's done. I don't like Lanzini, bro. And Lanzini ain't even wedged. You know what I'm saying? Lanzini brushed him off like, mate, move out of the way. I'm trying to pattern up a free here. Lanzini! Blood, listen. So, yeah, the squad is quite... The squad has got depth, but the depth is not Ralph. It's not Ralph. So, yeah, we need to do some things about that. Arsenal, on the other hand, they're kind of thereabouts. I mean, El Neni scored in the Champions League. No, they've been there for forever. El Neni scored in the Europa League game against Olympiacos, along with... did Aubameyang score? He did. But I'm trying to think who was the second one. It wasn't Pepe. Was it Willian? No, Willian set up two, I think, or something like that. I don't even know about the man there, man. I don't even want to know. Whoever scores, it was 3-1. If I didn't know better, I would have said it was Saka, and Saka. Their best player times 5. But yeah, Arsenal's strength and depth is kind of okay-ish. So they've got Emil Smith-Rowe, they've got Odegaard, they've got Danny Ceballos. So 3 creative-esque kind of midfielders. And I named them in the order of, I think, how effective they are for Arsenal. Then you've got Martinelli, who's not playing, but then you've got Saka, who is kind of a young baller who's just playing. You've probably got Willian, who's going to be having somewhere in that squad, which is beyond me. You got your David Luiz, Gabriel Magalhaes, Kieran Tierney, Hector Bellerin, or Edward Suarez. Is it Edward? Cedric Suarez. Cedric Suarez, Xhaka. Oh, obviously, the Thomas Boris said you can't have one, but you're still going to go through with a Magnum party. And I mean, Lacazette, but man, that man ain't been getting no minutes at all, man. I don't know. All he has to do is he injured. I don't know. I'm not asking Arsenal people, is he injured or isn't he injured? But I do know he ain't playing ball. We've got a message here. Hey, buddy, how we doing? Very, very good, thanks. We are talking the sports. We are sports talking. Currently talking up the North London derby tomorrow. Hopefully you and yours are doing amazing. Hopefully everyone's doing amazing. And you don't get hailed upon, because there was some hail out in them parts yesterday. But yeah, so my prediction was 3-1 for the North London derby. And that leads us, ladies and gentlemen, on to the other game of tomorrow. Not just the North London derby. It's not just about my team. There's other teams that are trying to do a thing tomorrow. So at 12 noon, that's right, bright and early. I should have done it another way. But Southampton are playing Brighton. Brighton early at 12. You see, I should have done like that. But yeah, that's promising to be a Southampton win. Unless Brighton are finally deciding now to stop this arrest, because it looks like they're going back into the Championship. It's surprising because Graham Potter, I think his name is. Graham Potter was doing very well, but they seem to not being able to stop the bleeding. And go on with Burnley for beating Everton 1-0, by the way, yesterday. I can't believe I completely skipped over that. Obviously, the Leeds Chelsea 0-0 probably was a good result for Leeds. Chelsea, on the other hand, it's not a loss. It is 2 points dropped, but it's not a loss. You were gaining serious momentum, though. I think the rest of the Premier League needed this for this title or top 4 race to have some kind of top 3 race, really. Because, well, no, you can't say top 3. The other 3. Let's call it the other 3 race, because Manchester City have won this. Also, tomorrow at 2:00, we've got Leicester City playing Sheffield United at the King Power Stadium. That promises to be, I think, a comfortable 2-0. I was going to say 2-1, but I don't know if man like McGoldrick has got it in him. He doesn't really score against. Well, no, Leicester are kind of a big team now. They've been up there thereabouts, and he does turn up. I've changed my mind. I'm going to 1 Sheffield United. No, Leicester 2, Sheffield United 1. McGoldrick is going to score because he only turns up for the top 6, the big teams. And I know what some people might say. Historically, Leicester are not a big team. I don't care what you think historically. We're not talking about black and white settings right now. They won the Champions League. They won the Premier League against insurmountable odds, and then went into the Champions League the following season. And that hasn't happened in their history for Lord knows. You have to ask them, because I haven't watched them like that. So Leicester City are a big team. They've been there and thereabouts in the top 4. I think they've just about slipped out if they're not still in there. Let's take a look at the table quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, Leicester City are still 3rd with 53 points. Manchester United on 54. Are you mad? They're only a point apart. And Manchester City just absolutely sailing in the rarefied airs of 71 points. Like they ain't worried about nowhere near. They know it. Never mind. I just, for a moment, my brain has to compute how hard Manchester United have fallen. Well, then again, we can talk about Liverpool. They won 43 points. How is it that Spurs won 45? They were above us at one point. Oh Lord, it's terrible. It's horrible. Aston Villa on 41 points as well in 9th place. So basically, Arsenal then sitting in 10th on 38 points. A win here will basically put them level with Aston Villa. Albeit Aston Villa would have 1 game in hand. We have to play Aston Villa, I believe. So that would be that game in hand. So yeah, 45 points, sorry. They're on 38. We don't want to get them to 41 because then they'll only be 4 points off of us, and we don't want that. We want daylight from Arsenal. And in many ways, we are chasing the pack above us. So I will quickly tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that Spurs lying in 7th place on 45 are looking directly above Everton on 46, West Ham on 48, and Chelsea on 51 points respectively. So basically 2 wins, and we're basically where Chelsea are now. They've managed to drop 2 points, sorry. So this works in our favor. We just need everyone else above. Forget Man City, but we need Man United and Leicester to drop points as well. And yeah, so it's a 38-game season. After this next game, we'll have 10 games, which means there's a maximum of 30 points to accrue in order to get that Champions League spot, which means in those 10 games, if the other people start losing or dropping points, this will be an amazing, amazing thing. Amazing affair. I'm just going to have another sip because my mouth is getting dry. And so let's keep it moving. I'll quickly take a look at some of the messages here, ladies and gentlemen. A Chelsea fan. He did us with a double last season. Yeah, last season. That was for sure. But you guys, I don't know. Let me ask you as a Chelsea fan. I reckon Sheffield sacking the manager is them knowing they are down. I don't fancy them to grab many wins. Yeah, it's going to be sad now. Because there's no way they can alarm the rest. I'll quickly get to Chelsea in a second. There's no way they can alarm the rest, is there? They've been playing. I think the recruitment is to be desired, but they've been playing kind of decent football with some teams. But I don't know if it's just that him sticking and twisting and tinkering, but they've looked a little bit like an abject shadow. And if they only followed the Leicester model, or in many ways like the Leeds model, stick to your philosophy no matter what. You might be losing now. Try and find a nuance in what already works for the personnel that you've got at hand. I think he tried to recruit too many people. The recruitment seemed a bit erratic. That's just me as an outsider. I didn't really look at it in depth, but Ryan Brewster for 25 million, are you serious? You know how many actual really competent strikers you could have got for 25 million? Actually, let's take a look at this, because anyhow, this guy is like worth less than 25 million. I know you said at the time you needed a striker, Mr. Wilder. Okay. Let's not get it twisted. Let's see. Transfer fee, isn't it? There we go. I'm trying to see what a certain. Oh my Jesus. West Ham. Oh my God. Oh my God. West Ham announced a permanent signing back in 2020, July 24, of a Mr. Thomas Suchek. The Czech midfielder basically cost them 19 million. Oh my God. Could you imagine if Suchek was in Sheffield United? Could you imagine if Sheffield United had a football player competent to an Antonio who formed a lethal partnership with McElbrick? You bought Ryan Brewster for 25 million. He's still not the finished article. He can't learn on the job at your club. You guys needed a ready-made striker that was going to score you bare minimum 15 goals a season just to keep your ass clear above that bottom half of the table. It never happened. I don't know why. You could have bought. Who could they have bought? They could have bought loads of people. I know there's definitely strikers out there that are cheaper than that. I mean, I just named Suchek because he's a player who's sourcing. Antonio, maybe he's worth now, I don't know, back in the day. But look at Ivan Toney, who's at Brentford. Absolutely balling. Pookie's having a party every bloody week with Norwich. They're absolutely storming it in the Championship. You're telling me you couldn't have even gone down a level to grab the best goal scorer? I mean, that's what Southampton did with Che Adams. It's beyond me that most football clubs, and especially Sheffield, man, because you came from there. That was where you guys buttered your bread. You took them all the way. You've done the Championship because of your philosophy of football. You understood and you navigated a great promotion season. And only to have one amazing, like literally, not just, well, definitely flash in a pan, but no one saw that coming that first season. You gave people Leicester vibes, bro. Sheffield United gave people Leicester vibes. And for some reason, they fell completely off. It's absolutely sad. It's absolutely sad. I mean, I heard a story in the Evening Standard. Forgive me, I was bored. I was on a train. I was just trying to kill time. Where they spoke about Chris Wilder not being in a job at the end of the year. Now it was almost like a soft, by the way, we know he's not going to be the manager by the end of the season. But then the announcement of the sacking just came quickly. It sounds like when the club say by mutual consent, they're telling Chris that there's some bullshit that's going to happen. And he's like, fuck it, I'll just walk now. I know I can get a job tomorrow. Probably can. He most probably can. I need to bring up the last of the Premier League action. Premier League action happening this weekend, yo. Okay, so don't ask me what the accent's from. It's just, you know. So Sheffield United and Leicester City. I predicted Leicester 2, Sheffield United 1, and that kicks off at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Arsenal and Spurs at the Emirates Stadium, 6:30. You best believe my arse is running the F home because I've got work very, very soon. Yeah, you'd think, what's he doing still awake? But I told you I couldn't sleep. A lot of things in my mind, you know what I'm saying? A lot of life that I said have been lived before the last stream. And trust me, it's been an absolute blast from the past. Definitely meeting up with people I haven't seen since yesteryear. And tomorrow, I'm looking forward to this one. So at Old Trafford, it is Manchester United versus West Ham United. The team currently occupying, or did they still occupy the top London spot in London. Nope, Chelsea are back up there, but only for a minute. West Ham are 3 points behind. And goal difference, nope, Chelsea are storming them. So unless, it's not going to happen. I was going to say, unless West Ham can score something like, it's going to be a madness. West Ham would have to score, they'd have to score 8 goals. Actually, would 8 goals be enough? They'll have to score 9 because Chelsea are a 19 goal difference. And West Ham are on 11. It's peak. But yeah, they're playing Manchester United tomorrow, and I really hope they take some points off for the Manchester United. I really do. Man United did not deserve to get anything from the Milan game. I'm sorry. I watched it, and I just think Milan was screwed. I said Milan like he was a hairstylist. Okay, so Wolves are playing on Monday. They're playing at 8 o'clock against good old Liverpool. Now, is it the return of Jota to the Molineux? Is it Liverpool realizing that they could play better football away from home? Because Spurs, we went for a season like that. It was crazy where our best football was played away from White Hart Lane. And I remember they were making like jokes, or they were making kind of foolish kind of excuses, concessions, so to speak, for why we weren't playing football good enough. Something like the pitch was too small, or like the way our pitch was. I don't know. I was hearing excuses for why we were getting our asses kicked in White Hart Lane. And because the reason why I say it's excuses and it's bullshit, our final season at White Hart Lane, we were unbeaten at home. We starched people, just game after game, starch. Look at everyone's highlight reels. Look at everyone's stats for that season. Whatever you want to look at, just look at whatever you can. But the team were just moving different. And that was the last season of White Hart Lane. That's why certain fans just carried jars of them, empty jars, waiting for that final whistle. And as soon as the players clapped everyone off and started walking, those fuckers ran out there to grab a piece of the turf. I've got a piece of the turf. I've got a piece of White Hart Lane in this jar. Yes, that's mold. Yes, it's trying to bite me. But I've got a piece of... Well, listen, I'm happy for everyone. People stole corner flags and stuff like that. They wanted a piece of it. And then the new Spurs Stadium was born. Now, I understand you grew up watching football. There's some value to objects. What do they call it again? Like when you can... It's like a tablet. You could move like a stoned tape theory. So I'm not saying stoned ape, but stoned tape, like cassette tape. Apparently, objects like bricks and old tables and furniture or inanimate objects generally could hold a memory or an aura of a past event, so to speak. I believe. I don't know. It was said by a person who was smoking loads of cannabis on the Joe Rogan show. So take that with a pinch of salt, if you may. Okay. And that is our football for this weekend. Obviously, I said we'll talk a little bit about the Chelsea game. The fact that they couldn't score against a Leeds United team that just puts themselves in perpetual danger, you know? Like somebody who is just unable to assess risks. So they just go out into the world, like Final Destination type stuff, like somebody who knows they've seen whatever event it is and everyone's dying and they're just walking out there naked, taking risks. Do you know what I mean? Don't know why I said walking out there naked, but I'd have a feeling that it's much quicker to die without a clothes on than it is to die with clothes on. And it's cold outside. So I thought I'd just use the example of if I was to walk outside now with nothing on, it wouldn't go well. But yeah, just absolutely oblivious to what is going on around them defensively, because they commit so many bodies, so many players into what they consider dangerous positions. But my God, when they get countered on, it's a joke. So if you have the right kind of system and the right type of players who study the way they hunt in packs, get around that press, it's curtains. They need to use as much of their athleticism to try and stop themselves from conceding a goal. So if early you can stop them and then start hitting balls over and going, well, then this is where we get into the whole You basically just sit back like most teams and you invite them to come on forward with as many numbers as possible. And you start getting your troops into key positions and you start hitting passes over them. And that's it. After what, an hour? Those defenders aren't going to be able to stop, run back the other direction like they've been doing all game. In fact, you could desensitize them by switching it up and just go through the middle of the passing game. So, yeah, they're easy to manipulate, is my point. And that's not a really good thing to say for a football team. So, Leeds United, congratulations, how you managed to hold on just through your attacking verve. You must have defended like mofos. I admittedly did not watch the game, but I look at it for what it is. I haven't heard that there's any controversial VAR decisions or anything like that. So maybe if there is, somebody can enlighten me. We haven't had a reliable top-class striker since Drogba, man. And he left in 2012. Absolutely right. I would argue you man had Fernando Torres as well for a minute, didn't you? I know Liverpool did, but I'm pretty sure you man had Fernando Torres. Was he the Finnish Fernando Torres or was he just Fernando Torres? Because, I mean, there's a difference. Finnish Fernando Torres is like zero confidence. He's not even going to show up in a key moment and score for you. Whereas I think the best anyone ever experienced of Fernando Torres is probably Atletico. The most effective forward we've had since then is Giroud. I totally agree with you. You have a system that is more... It's really tough because you can say this for maybe 20 players in the Premier League. If you have a system that's more comparable to like a French, do you know what I mean? Like a French team. Just a team, Deschamps, just functionally bringing in these freaking athletes to supplement some deficiencies in this dude's attributes. But I tell you what, I'll take all of his negatives because his positives are he ain't missing. He will score with flair. He'll position himself. He'll reposition himself mid-position, unposition and reposition. Like this man is a cultured football player. He scored a scorpion. He scored a bicycle. He's probably got every version of a goal in his locker because I think he's almost like a speedster. He sees the ball differently to everyone else. When the ball's in the air, when the ball's in a certain dangerous area, he's already gone into his little mental Rolodex and gone, how many kind of finishes do I have for this? I maybe have like 20, but it's not trying to overcomplicate. I just want to be a match of the day. So, you know, Olivier Giroud just pulls out, you know, bloody flamingo kick or whatever. He's very, very good striker, but I believe he does need the likes of a Pulisic to be unshackled. He needs the likes of a Callum Hudson-Odoi to be unshackled. He does need a great defense behind him to allow someone like a Reece James or I don't think Azpilicueta is the one. So you guys are going to probably have to start looking at like a right midfielder. No, you got Reece James and Ben Chilwell. That's it. Sorry, I was getting them wrong. Yeah, because Marcos Alonso could probably be at that level for a little bit longer. We had Fernando Torres, but he wasn't banging them in. He would score around 10 in the season. But top teams need... You're absolutely right. But guess what? If my number 10 is score me 20 a season, but then he gets injured, I still need my other striker to score 10. So at the very low end, if he's my sole striker, yeah, we're curtains. But he was still good to have. I reckon he came into his own in European games when you got more time on the ball. It's a lot more different with attacking and defending in Europe. Because you're up against mostly Spanish, French, Italian. You know, you're up against different type of league defenders. Just imagining you're running at them with bags of pace and stuff like that. They might do something correct, or they might just be positionally sound and mark you out of the game. But ladies and gentlemen, I am 6 minutes out from almost wrapping up the stream. Shouts out to Tom for jumping up into the chat. It's been awesome to answer said football queries because I'm looking forward to the match. And it just means that there's going to be, well, just a difficult nap. Let's just say a difficult nap. As I've got to get up bright and early and make my way over for work. I will be back tomorrow afternoon around like when the game finishes, basically. So I'm gonna, as soon as I get in from work, I'm not gonna have enough time to set up a stream, honestly. But I will kind of just give like a post-match reaction. I'll kind of tell you how I felt from where I was watching the game. And yeah, let us all enjoy the rest of our weekend. Monday, I will be back with a proper night school. That was almost like a prequel what I put out there because it was rather short. But I'll be back with the night school, FIFA career mode on Twitch and YouTube. And I will also be previewing a brand new kind of channel concept thingamajig, so to speak. I don't know. You guys will see. I'm upgrading, but this one was a bit fun. I just really want to put this one out there. So, yeah, I will be doing that very, very soon. So thank you for watching. You've been amazing as always. And let's read the last message of the day. Oh yeah, Torres was crucial in both the 2012 Champions League and 2030 Europa League. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. He was there when it mattered. That's what you need. You need somebody who, a true professional, man. Even when it wasn't going well for him, he just said, "My chance will come, and I'm not going to give up." And I would say that to everyone: don't give up, don't stop, believe it. But yeah, just don't give up. Your chance is going to come, and I think if you remain humble and you don't kind of fill your bloody aura, your psyche, your whole repertoire of thought with negativity, you will definitely hit heights that you probably never even set for yourself. And it starts with just absolutely being ready, just knowing that you are good and better than that. But when you get your chance, you are then going to show them how great you are. But stay in the pocket, believe, conceive, and receive. I think I heard that in a self-help book somewhere. Maybe, I don't know, or maybe one of those weird TLC programs. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in for the third and definitely overdue Sports Zone. I'll be back, like I said, tomorrow after the match. And yes, I will quickly read the last message before I tip on out. And it reads, I know you're heading off, man, but when you got time, take a look at photos of Torres now. I would definitely do that. That's absolutely an absolute must. And also, could you have a great time as well, my friend? We will speak very, very soon. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow after the match. Until then, as always, stay cool and stay black. Peace.